Let's start off our day with something wonderful or hear a story about someone being marvelous. Hey, let's make today Wonderless. This is the show that gives you a daily dose of happy, uplifting, feel good stories from around the world. Welcome to another episode of Wonderless News. I'm Hoyt Christopher. Let's get right to it. All right, our first segment is a man scales a 3-story building to save neighbor during a fire. Okay, this is so crazy. So this man in Colorado Springs ended up scaling a 3-story building to save this neighbor of his that he could tell was suffering from an asthma attack in his apartment while the building was on fire. So he's like, look, we saw the fire going on and noticed a guy on the 3rd floor. He was having a hard time breathing. He had an inhaler in his hand and he couldn't even stand up. So the EMTs were like, let's get in there. They went up, they rushed up to the door, but the door was locked. So this neighbor goes, look, I got to get up there. He jumps up, scales the balconies, gets to the 3rd floor, reaches the guy, and was able to get him out, open the door, and get him out of the fire in the building in time. Scaling 3 stories. Let's all think about that. I mean, I live in a 2-story house. Imagine a 3-story. And imagine scaling up to that 3rd floor to get in to save somebody. And the building's on fire, by the way. This isn't like, hey, let me see if I can scale a building like Spider-Man or whatever. This is the building's on fire. I could slip and die or hurt myself, and it's on fire. Did I say that yet? The building's on fire? But look, the guy that saved him, I think his name is Dewey Parker. Good for you. Thanks to Parker. The man is safe. He's doing well. He's going to be fine. And so is Dewey. So Dewey Parker saved the day. Go, Mr. Dewey Parker. All right. Next segment. Entrepreneur with autism is inspiring others with his pretzel business. This is really cool. So this guy, Marcus Moore, he started a business called More Crunch last October. And for 2 simple reasons. He likes snacking and he likes pretzels. Moore is 29 years old and he has autism. So Moore has been working at a grocery store for years. He's able to be self-sufficient to a degree and really wanted to grow and figure out more things he could do. And he's like, look, he has autism. And he wasn't really able, he said, to take care of himself without his parents' help, even though he worked at the store, right? So maybe not making enough money or something. He's like, look, and this is what he said. He goes, they love me and I love them, but I'm also trying to live on my own and fit in where I can. And I also love pretzels, he said. So I thought I would see if people would love pretzels as much as I do. So he started More Crunch. Now, the pretzel flavors are really cool. So his pretzel flavors, he created cinnamon sugar, which that sounds great. Maryland crab, I'm not so sure about that, but to each his own. Garlic ranch, buffalo, and smokehouse ranch. Now those sound delicious. He's doing great with his newfound success. Moore is thinking about the next steps, like finding a commercial kitchen and hiring other people with autism or disabilities to help him. This guy decided that he wanted to be more self-sufficient and not rely on his parents, and he started his own business making pretzels. He found something that he really liked, and he's turning it into his career. I commend him for this. I mean, yes, having autism, he obviously has other challenges, but there's a lot of us out there that do not have autism that struggle to find something that we can do with a career to make money and live and provide for ourselves and our family without feeling like we have to just work, right? So you get up every day and your job, and his job in this case, is to make pretzels, sell them, make money, and, provide for himself. And aside from the Maryland crab flavor, which probably is really good, garlic ranch, buffalo, smokehouse, he's creative. I love it. And he took something you really liked. Snacking and pretzels, make it a business. Good for you, Mr. Moore. More Crunch, look for it. Look for it in a local grocery store when it becomes available. Next is our Wonderlous moment of the day brought to you by Rise by Shaman Angelina. She has an amazing set of jewelry that she does all by hand, sterling silver. It's available on her Etsy store. Go to the description of the show. You'll find a link to her site. Check it out. But right now, she's provided us with a video of a whale swimming and some really cool music. So just dial it in. Whales. And that water was beautiful, right? Beautiful water. If you couldn't see it, it was beautiful blue water. The whales just swimming around. The music was cool. I hope you liked it. Thank you, Rise by Shaman Angelina. Check out her store on Etsy. It's an incredible site. Rise by Shaman Angelina is the address, or is the name on Etsy. All right, our next segment. Students hand out free goodies to strangers in school's biggest kindness project ever. Okay, so check this out. For the past 7 years, these third grade students at an elementary in British Columbia have performed acts of kindness for strangers. And the idea of the project is this. What they do is they make these cupcakes. Okay, so they make a bunch of cupcakes. They sell the cupcakes. They take the money that they raise. In this case, this year they raised $1,400. They take the money and then they go and they buy like flowers, chocolates, dog treats, and coffee, and they hand them out to strangers. Just cruising around in the parks. Here's a cup of coffee. Here's some flowers. Just random acts of kindness. So some of the kids stay back together and they do packages for the homeless. So they do little gift boxes for them. But each of the goodies that they hand out come with a hand-decorated card featuring a quote on one side. And it's penned by Kevin Heath. And it says, "No act of kindness is too small. No act of kindness is too small." These little third grade kids are doing this with their teachers. They're not raising money for a charity, that's organized. They're doing this on their own. They're raising money to just buy cute little things, coffee, dog treats, whatever, and they just hand them out to people. I love that. Great segment. Really, really good segment. So now, as you know, it's time for the Wonderlous Thought, and it's going to be about schools teaching our children. That's what I want to talk about really briefly. It's something I've noticed, a couple of things. So one, my kids are really getting a lot from their school. It's a great school. We're very fortunate to have a good community, good school, public school system here where I live. And these teachers and this faculty and staff are amazing. The parents are great. But I have to say this with that thought of what this school is doing with the kindness project with those goodies. But, my kids learn a lot at school. And think about it. Your kids are at school, it's about 8 hours a day, right? So it's like a full-time job. That's their job until they grow up and they get jobs on their own. And at school, with them not being in your house and not, doing the things that you asked them to do and be mindful and, no cursing and, do whatever it is, right? We're teaching our kids how to be self-sufficient and efficient, become adults and be, good members of society. Okay. The teachers in our schools have a big responsibility. And I have to remind myself that they're under a lot of pressure. It's like 1 or 2 teachers for every 22 students. Sometimes the ratio is even worse. So they've got a lot on their plate. They definitely have a lot of responsibilities. But I think it's important that we look at the benefits of school, not just the education, not just the learning, but the helping us as a community, as parents, raise our children. I mean, that's really what it is, right? Our teachers are helping us raise our kids and yours as well. And I've said this for a long time, and now I've said it on the program, teachers don't get enough credit. They do not get paid enough money. And all of our schools should be top-notch in every community, every city, every county in the United States. There should be no rated schools 1, 2s, and 3s. It's just out of 10. It's ridiculous. You wouldn't go to a restaurant that was a 1 or 2. It wouldn't be open. If there was a restaurant, the health department would shut it down if it was a 2 or 3 or 4, whatever. It's an A, a B, and then it's closed. Okay. So A, you're good. B, you got stuff to work on. C, you're not open. I mean, I'm guessing, but teachers have a lot of responsibility, but we need them to help us raise our children. We do. It's not just learning, but raising them. So we need good teachers. We need teachers that are like-minded, that are open-minded and patient and caring, compassionate. And without that, we're on our own. I don't know how some of you parents do the homeschooling. You must have a lot of support. I love that I can send my kids to school, and I know they're doing well there. So hats off to the teachers. That's my thought. But I want to know your thoughts. So tell me about your Wonderlous news story. Tell me what's happening in your community, what happened to you or a family member. Send it here to the show, wonderlessnews@gmail.com. I'll read it on the show. Be happy to do it. Happy to give you a plug and a shout out, whatever it is. But in the meantime, thanks again for watching and listening. I'm Hoyt Christopher. This is Wonderless News, and I'll see you tomorrow.